Hey guys, how are you today? Quick rant before we dive into today's chaos. As some of you might have noticed, YouTube's algorithm has decided I'm not special anymore. Shocking, I know. So now if you don't like, comment, or do a little backflip in the algorithm's honor, this video might just vanish into the void, never to be seen again. Seriously though, even a hi or "this is wild" in the comments helps way more than you think. It tells YouTube, hey, people actually like this channel. Maybe don't hide it from everyone. That can really help push my videos out to a wider audience, not just to my subscribers. So if you enjoy these stories and want to support the channel, that's the best way to do it. Now grab a drink, get comfy, and enjoy the drama. You won't want to miss this one. I, 35 male, was engaged to Amy, 32 female. We had been together for 5 years and engaged for about a year. When we met, I had a stable job in finance. I made a decent living, and Amy was just starting out as a teacher. She was passionate about her work, but always talked about how underpaid and undervalued she felt. I wanted to support her, so I started helping with her bills pretty early in our relationship. I thought that is what partners did. Fast forward a couple of months, and my job became increasingly stressful. I was working insane hours, losing sleep, and starting to have health issues. Amy encouraged me to quit if I was not happy. She said, "Your health is more important than a paycheck." I agreed, and after some careful planning, I left my job. I had savings, investments, and rental income from a property my late grandfather left me. Financially, I was in a good spot, and I told Amy I would take a break to figure out what I wanted to do next. She seemed supportive at first. During this break, I managed our finances. I paid the rent, utilities, groceries, vacations, you name it. Amy's salary covered her personal expenses, but I took care of everything else. I took on some freelance projects, handled the maintenance and tenant issues for the rental property, and even helped Amy with lesson planning and classroom supplies. She joked once that I was like her personal assistant, but I did not mind. I was happy to help. After a few months, things between Amy and I started to feel different. At first, I did not think much of her comments. She would joke around, saying things like, "Must be nice to have no stress," when I would make her breakfast or help clean up. I thought she was just teasing me, and I did not mind. But after a while, I noticed her tone changing. It started to sound less like a joke and more like an accusation. She started talking more about her coworkers and how hard everyone was working. She would tell me about her friends' partners, lawyers, doctors, engineers, and how busy and ambitious they were. I brushed it off thinking she was just venting. I did not see myself as less ambitious. I just was not rushing back into a traditional 9-to-5 grind. One day, out of nowhere, Amy sat me down and said we needed to talk. I could tell by the way she looked that something was wrong. She told me she was unsure about our future. At first, I thought she was just anxious or going through something. But what she said next hit me like a ton of bricks. She told me that she no longer saw me as husband material. That I had been financially supporting us for years. That I was not sitting around doing anything, and that I was actively managing our household and finances. She shrugged it off and said that was not the same as having a career. She accused me of having no ambition and said she did not want to carry me in the future. Carry me? That stung. I was carrying us. I had always thought we were a team, but now it felt like she had been keeping score in some twisted competition. She went on about how she wanted a partner who was driven and had a plan. She did not think I had a plan because I was not chasing some high-powered career anymore. I told her my plan was to live a balanced life, to work smarter, not harder, and to build a future where we did not have to stress about money or burn ourselves out. But she was not hearing it. She ended the conversation by saying she could not be with someone who had no future and called off the engagement. Just like that, everything changed. I was not prepared for it. It felt like she was just walking away, like everything we had was over in an instant. I was still trying to understand everything she had said. But when she said that, it hit me hard. I was devastated. I could not believe the person I had supported and loved for 5 years thought so little of me. I felt betrayed. I had sacrificed my mental and physical health for a job once before, and I was not willing to do it again. I thought Amy understood that, but apparently she did not. After almost a year, I met my wife, Hazel, 35 female. We dated for a year and a half, and I proposed to her last year, and we got married around 4 months back. Hazel is someone who completely changed my outlook on life. After everything that happened with Amy, I did not expect to find someone who understood me as much as Hazel. She is kind and grounded, and has never pushed me to be someone I am not. It felt natural from the moment we met. Within a year of our relationship, I proposed to her, and she accepted. So this is what happened. I was at my wedding. Everything was perfect. Everything was exactly how we wanted it to be. Hazel looked stunning, and I could not believe how lucky I was to have met someone so amazing, kind, and genuine. The ceremony was beautiful, and we had just started the reception. Guests were having fun, dancing, drinking, and chatting. Hazel and I were taking photos with friends and family when I noticed a bit of commotion near the entrance. At first, I thought it was someone arriving late, but then I saw her, Amy, my ex-fiancée. I hadn't seen or heard from Amy in a few years, not since she broke off our engagement. So there she was walking into my wedding. At first, I thought maybe she was just in the area and did not realize it was me getting married. But no, she was there for me. Amy walked straight up to me, completely ignoring Hazel and everyone else. She didn't seem sorry or embarrassed, just really angry. Without any warning, she started accusing me of tricking her. She said she had just found out about my trust fund. I was confused and didn't understand why she was acting like this. She claimed that I had lied to her, hiding my money, and that it was unfair. I couldn't believe she was saying all this at my wedding, especially when she had ended our relationship without warning or real explanation. It felt wrong. For context, I inherited a trust fund from my grandfather. It is a sizable amount, and it is part of why I have been financially stable, even after leaving my high-stress corporate job a few years ago. I have always been careful with it, using it as a safety net while I figure out what I want in life. I never flaunted it or used it as an excuse to be lazy. Amy, however, did not know about the trust fund when we were together. Not because I was hiding it, but because it never came up. She never asked about my finances beyond the basics, and I never felt the need to explain every detail of my financial situation. I was paying all the bills and taking care of everything financially, so it was not like I was struggling. But now that she knew about the trust fund, she was furious. She started saying I had lied to her and manipulated her into leaving me. She claimed I had intentionally hidden my wealth so I could test her or something. I could not believe what I was hearing. She went on saying she deserved a second chance because, in her words, she had only broken up with me based on what she thought was the truth. She said that now that she knew I had money, she felt like I owed her the opportunity to fix things. It was like a switch had flipped for her. Suddenly, she seemed more interested in the idea of me because of my financial situation than anything else. She even said it was unfair that Hazel was going to marry me when Amy had invested so many years into our relationship. Hearing that felt like a slap in the face. Amy was trying to make it all about what she thought she deserved. It stung to hear her say that, especially since she had ended things with me without warning or a real explanation at the time. I tried to stay calm, but it was hard. She was making it seem like I owed her something just because we had been together in the past, and I did not know how to respond. It felt wrong, almost like she was trying to rewrite our history just to get what she wanted. I could not help but wonder if this was really about love or just about what she thought she could get from me now that she knew about my trust fund. The audacity was unreal. Amy kept going, saying things like I was not being fair and accusing me of deliberately making her life harder by not telling her about the trust fund. She tried to paint herself as the victim, as if I was the one who had wronged her. Hazel was not about to let Amy ruin our day. She stepped up and told her off in front of everyone. Hazel said it was rude and desperate to show up at someone's wedding uninvited, especially to demand a second chance. She made it clear that Amy had no one to blame but herself for walking away. Hazel told her she had given up on me when she thought I had no future, and now that she knew the truth, she did not get to just waltz back in. She ended by saying this was our day and Amy had no place there. After Hazel shut her down, I told Amy I did not owe her an explanation about my trust fund, because it had nothing to do with why she left me. She chose to walk away, called me a loser, and made it clear she did not respect me. I said if she had known about the trust fund back then, it wouldn't have changed how she treated me, and her showing up now only proved that. I told her I was grateful she ended things because it led me to someone who truly loved and supported me. Finally, I asked her to leave, saying I wished her the best, but she was not welcome here. She did not take it well. She stormed out, saying something about how I would regret choosing the wrong person. I ignored her and went back to celebrating with Hazel. The entire thing was absurd. On one hand, I was furious that she had attempted to ruin my wedding. However, I could not help but feel sorry for her. She had made her decision when she called me a loser and said I was not good enough for her. Now, she was trying to go back because she had realized she was wrong, but it was too late. After everything settled down, Hazel and I laughed about it. It felt like the universe's way of reminding me that I dodged a bullet. I can't imagine spending my life with someone who values money over love, or who thinks they can just walk back into my life after tearing me down. So here's my question. Am I an a-hole for not telling Amy about my trust fund when we were together? I feel like it was none of her business. Honestly, Amy only proved that she never valued OP as a partner. She valued the idea of what OP could provide. She left because she decided OP wasn't ambitious enough, not because she lacked information. Now she's furious that she misjudged OP and lost access to a lifestyle she thought she deserved. Crashing OP's wedding and demanding a second chance the moment she learned about OP's wealth is wild. OP is not wrong for keeping his finances private, and OP definitely aren't wrong for moving on. Her choices were her own. And now let's hear community's opinion. The fact that she hid a pregnancy, unilaterally decided you were unfit, and then suddenly popped back into your life only after discovering your trust fund says everything. She didn't come back out of love or regret. She came back because she wanted the benefits of being attached to you again. You did the right thing getting a paternity test and keeping Hazel involved. Amy has shown over and over that she cannot be trusted, so getting everything legally documented is the smartest thing you can do going forward. People keep trying to blame you for not telling her about the trust fund, but that doesn't excuse her behavior. You didn't hide it to manipulate her. She never asked, and it wasn't relevant at the time. Meanwhile, she hid an entire child and made a lifelong decision without even giving you the chance to step up. That's not protective, that's controlling. The way she kept trying to get to you through your mother, then through Hazel, shows she's willing to cross any boundary when it suits her. Stay cautious. Update 1. Amy hasn't stopped reaching out to me since the wedding. I thought after Hazel called her out, and we kicked her out of the wedding, she would get the message and stop. But no, she's found a way around it. Instead of contacting me directly, she's going through my family and friends. Every time I think it is over, she finds a way to keep coming back into my life. It is especially hard because she was so close to my mother when we were together. They used to talk frequently and spend a lot of time together. My mother was genuinely fond of Amy, so the end of our relationship was a huge shock to her. Amy was not a part of our lives anymore, and my mother felt like she had lost a close friend. I can tell it is difficult for my mother to simply shut Amy out, even though I have made it clear that I don't want anything to do with her anymore. Amy is aware of this, and she is now using it to her advantage. She kept calling my mom, reminding her of how close they were. It is always the same thing. Amy says things like, "We were so close. Don't you miss me? And you should help me out." She's trying to use that bond they had to get my mom to help her contact me. Amy doesn't seem to respect my decision to move on, and she doesn't understand that I don't want her in my life anymore. My mom is kind and polite, so it is difficult for her to simply block someone like Amy, but I can tell she's trying. She is trying not to take Amy's words seriously, even though it is difficult for her. I have done my best to block Amy in every way I can think of. I have blocked her on social media. I have blocked her number, and I have made it clear that I don't want to hear from her. But somehow, she's still finding ways to reach out. Now she's going through my friends and relatives. She keeps calling them and leaving messages saying that she has something important to tell me, something life-changing, and that I need to know. It is so annoying. I don't want to know anything. I don't need her to tell me anything. Every time my mom tells me that Amy is calling her again, it just makes me more irritated. I have already moved on. I'm with someone else now, and I'm happy. I don't want to be dragged back into Amy's drama. Whatever she thinks she has to say doesn't matter to me anymore. It feels like she's trying to manipulate me into thinking that I need to listen to her, like I'll regret it if I don't. But I'm done. I've been through enough with her, and I'm not going to go back to the mess we had. I'm honestly just tired of this. Amy's messages are always the same. You need to hear this, or this will change everything for you. But I don't care. I don't want her back in my life. I'm happy now, and I don't need to listen to her. It is hard to explain how frustrating it is when someone you've blocked keeps trying to reach you through other people. It is like they're not respecting your wishes, and it just feels like an invasion of your space. I don't want to feel like I have to keep blocking her over and over again. I just want her to stop. Update 2. Hazel got a text from her. Amy somehow got Hazel's number and she sent a picture of a little boy. The boy looked about 2 to 3 years old. Along with the picture, Amy sent a long message. Hazel showed me the texts as soon as she got them. I was not sure what to say. I froze. The message took me by surprise and left me disturbed. She said the boy was my child and that she had found out she was pregnant before we broke up. She wrote that she never told me because she didn't believe I'd be capable of being a father. At the time, I wasn't working a regular job, and she assumed I wouldn't be able to provide for a child. She made the decision to raise Joe on her own without even giving me the chance to be involved. Now, years later, Amy says she wants me to know about Joe because she believes I deserve to be a part of his life. It's hard for me to process. I've always wanted children, but I never had the chance to be part of Joe's life until now. I feel confused and angry because Amy made such a big decision without consulting me. I never had a say in this. She acted like I wasn't capable of being a father. And now, out of the blue, she says I deserve to be part of his life. It's overwhelming, and I don't know how to feel. It's like she's trying to rewrite history and shift the blame onto me. I decided to call Amy right away. I asked her what this was all about. She told me we needed to meet in person. She said she wanted to bring the boy with her and explain everything. She did not sound angry or emotional, just calm, like she thought this was the right thing to do. Now I'm stuck. I don't know how to feel. A part of me thinks Amy is trying to get money from me. Ever since she found out about my trust fund, it feels like she's been looking for ways to involve herself in my life. First, she showed up at my wedding. Now, she's claiming I have a son. It is hard to trust her after everything she's done. But there's another part of me that keeps looking at the picture of the boy. What if he really is my child? What if Amy is telling the truth? If he is my son, I can't ignore him. He did not choose this situation, and he deserves to know his father. But how could I be sure? What if this is just another way for Amy to pull me into more drama? Hazel told me this was my decision, and she would support me no matter what I chose. That means a lot to me, but it doesn't make the choice any easier. I keep going back and forth in my head. If I meet Amy and the boy, I might be walking into a trap. Amy might have some ulterior motive. Maybe she just wants money. Or maybe she's trying to mess with my life now that I'm happy with Hazel. On the other hand, if I don't meet them, I might be ignoring something really important. If the boy is my son, I don't want to let him down. I don't want him to grow up thinking his father did not care about him. This whole situation feels like a mess. I don't know how to untangle it. I keep thinking about the boy and what's best for him. If he's my son, he deserves to know me. But if he's not, I don't want to get dragged into something unnecessary. I'm completely torn. On one hand, I feel like I should meet Amy and the boy to find out the truth. On the other hand, I don't trust Amy, and I don't want to open myself up to more manipulation. I need some advice. Should I meet Amy and the boy to figure this out? Or should I protect myself and stay away from her games? What would you do if you were in my shoes? Update 3. After much back and forth, I decided to meet Amy and the boy. I felt that it was the right thing to do, but I did not feel ready for it. My only condition was that Hazel accompany me. I could not do this alone, and Hazel was there for me throughout. When I told Amy that Hazel would be joining us, she straight away agreed, which surprised me. We met at a park near Amy's place. When I first saw the boy, I could not help but feel a rush of emotions. I hadn't prepared for this moment at all, but there he was, standing in front of me, looking like someone I could relate to. It was all overwhelming. He was sweet and polite, but I could not shake the uncertainty. There was a lot going on in my mind, and I had to stay focused. Hazel was the first to point out the boy's resemblance to me. She told me he had green eyes like mine, and brown hair too. She also mentioned that his smile looked just like mine. She did not say much else, but I could tell she was thinking about the same things I was. Was this really my son? The physical similarities made it hard to ignore, but I could not make any decisions based only on looks. Amy started telling me why she had reached out. She made it clear she wasn't asking for anything. No money, no favors, nothing for herself. She said the reason she contacted me was because she wanted me to be involved in raising the boy. She explained that for a long time she didn't think I'd be able to handle fatherhood. Back when we were together, she was worried about my job situation and how I wasn't working a traditional 9-to-5 job. She didn't think I was ready for the responsibility of a child, especially since I wasn't in a stable career. So she made the decision to raise the child on her own, thinking it was the best thing to do. But now she said after all this time she thought it was important for me to know about the boy and be part of his life. It was a lot to take in. I had no idea about any of this, and now she was asking me to suddenly step in and be a father. I was confused and overwhelmed. I didn't know how to process everything she had just told me. It felt like my whole life was changing in an instant. Amy went on to explain that she used to make snarky comments about me not having a steady job. She said that she regretted it, and that she now realized it was not fair to judge me for it. But she also said that back then she did not think I could take care of a child. So she left and decided to raise him alone. She believed it was better for the boy. But in hindsight, she regretted not telling me about him sooner. To me, though, this reasoning did not make much sense. If she really thought I could not provide, why did she not talk to me about it? Why did she not let me know she was pregnant so I could figure something out? It seemed like a huge decision to make on her own without consulting me. I did not want to jump to conclusions, but something about her explanation did not sit well with me. I told Amy that I wanted to be a part of the boy's life, but before I could fully commit, I needed to be sure. I told her I would need a paternity test to confirm if he was really my son. I was not about to start co-parenting or getting involved in his life without knowing for sure. Amy agreed without hesitation. She said she was open to the idea and that she would arrange for the test. We ended the meeting on a note of agreement. I was willing to take the next step, but the paternity test was a necessary part of it. It was the only way I could move forward with any certainty. I did not want to make any promises or take any actions without being sure that this boy was my son. When Hazel and I left the park, we did not say much at first. We were both taking in what just happened. I could tell she was still feeling uneasy about everything. She did not trust Amy completely, and I understood why. Amy's behavior in the past gave her no reason to believe that this situation was genuine. Hazel was supportive, but she was also careful, and I appreciated her point of view. We talked more later that night. Hazel asked if I really thought the boy was mine. I did not know. It was hard to say for sure, but the resemblance was uncanny. I kept thinking about the possibility that the boy might be my son, but I also could not ignore the fact that Amy had kept this from me for so long. I did not know her intentions, or if she was being truthful. It was all confusing, and I was not sure how to feel. For now, we're waiting for the paternity test results. I've been thinking about this constantly, wondering what the right thing to do is. If the test shows that the boy is mine, I'll take responsibility. I'll be there for him, but it won't be easy. Amy and I have a lot of history, and I don't know how we'll co-parent together. I don't know how to deal with the tension and distrust that still exists between us. But if he's my son, I can't ignore that. I'll have to do my best for him no matter what. If the test shows that he isn't mine, then it will be over. Amy's story won't matter anymore. I'll have my answer and I can move forward with my life. But either way, it feels like I'm stuck in this situation that is out of my control. I keep thinking about the boy though. Even if he isn't mine, I feel for him. I can't help but feel like I should be doing something, but I also need to protect myself. If he isn't mine, I can't let Amy drag me into more complications. I just need the truth. Once the results come back, I'll know what to do. But right now, all I can do is wait. I'll update you all when I have more answers. Update 4. The results came back, and I found out the child is mine. I thought I was ready for this, But honestly, I was not. It felt like life just dropped this huge responsibility on me. A 3-year-old child, someone I did not even know existed until recently. It was overwhelming. I had always wanted to be a father, but this situation was not how I expected it to be. I did not get to prepare, dream about it, or plan. It was unexpected. And now I had to figure out how to be a father to this little boy. His name is Joe, and even though I was not there for him for the first 3 years, I'm here now. I want to be involved in his life to make up for the time I missed. It is hard to know where to begin, but I'm trying to focus on building a relationship with him, however long that may take. I'm ready to be the dad he deserves. Even if I don't have all the answers right now, I want him to feel loved, supported, and cared for. I know I have missed a lot of milestones, but I can't go back and change that. What I can do is show up now and do my best moving forward. Even before the results came out, I met Joe a few times. I just wanted to get to know him better and spend some time with him. Honestly, I really hope that he was mine. I've always wanted to be a father. And even though I'm excited to start a family with Hazel, meeting this boy made me feel something deep inside. It was hard to ignore the connection I felt. I didn't expect to feel so attached so quickly, but there was something about him that made me want to be there for him. I could feel myself starting to care for him. I know it might be strange since I didn't know about him before, but the idea of being a father felt right, especially after meeting him. I couldn't just forget about the bond that was already starting to form between us. It was a lot to process, but I felt like I needed to try and be there for him no matter what the results would say.